My wife called the police on me for trespassing during an argument because she wanted me out. The cops handcuffed me until I asked them to check the property deed. When they realized I was the sole owner and she was not on the lease, they asked her to leave. Original post I-31 mail. I'm sitting in a hotel room right now, processing what just happened 6 hours ago. My wife, 29, and I have been married 3 years. Together for 5. The house we live in, I bought it 2 years before we met. Paid cash inheritance from my grandfather. Titles in my name only. Never added her because, honestly, we just never got around to it. Kept saying we'd do it eventually. Today that saved my rear end. We've been having issues. Nothing dramatic, just the usual stuff. She's been distant, spending more time with her friends, coming home late. I tried talking about it, she'd get defensive. Tonight I pushed the issue. Me, we need to talk about what's going on with us. Her, nothing's going on, you're paranoid. You've been out until midnight 3 times this week. That's not normal for you. So now I need permission to see my friends? That's not what I said, I'm just concerned. Well, stop being concerned, I'm fine, we're fine. We're not fine. We barely talk anymore. That's when she exploded. Started yelling about how I'm controlling, how she can't breathe, how she needs space. I stayed calm, which apparently made it worse. Her, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I want you to leave. Me, leave? This is our house. I don't care. Get out. Me, I'm not leaving. If you need space, you can stay with your sister. No, you leave. This is my house too. Me, actually, it's not. It's my house. You're not on the deed. Wrong thing to say. She went nuclear, screaming, throwing things. I just stood there. Then she grabbed her phone. Her, fine. If you won't leave, I'll make you leave. She called 911. Told them there was an intruder in her house who wouldn't leave. That she felt threatened. That her husband was trespassing. I couldn't believe it. Just stood there while she gave them our address. 10 minutes later, cops showed up, 2 of them. I opened the door. Officer 1. Sir, we got a call about a trespassing situation. Me? Yeah, my wife called you. But there's been a misunderstanding. My wife came running up. That's him. He won't leave. I told him to get out and he's refusing. Ma'am, is this your residence? Her, yes. We live here together, but I want him out. Officer 1 to me, sir, what's your relationship to this woman? Me, she's my wife. And you both live here? Me, yes. But my wife cut me off. He's being aggressive. I don't feel safe. He needs to leave now. I wasn't being aggressive. Wasn't even raising my voice. But the officers looked at each other. Then at me. Officer 2, sir, I'm going to need you to step outside. What? Why? Just step outside, please. I did. Officer 2 followed me out, put his hand on my shoulder. Sir, I'm gonna need you to put your hands behind your back. Are you serious? Standard procedure in domestic situations, just precautionary. He cuffed me. Not tight, but still. Handcuffed on my own front porch while my wife watched from the doorway with this satisfied look on her face. Officer 1 was talking to her, getting her statement. Officer 2 was asking me questions. Officer, sir, have you been drinking tonight? Me? No. Did you put your hands on your wife at any point? No. Absolutely not. She says you refused to leave when she asked you to. Because this is my house. Check the property deed. My name? Not hers. Officer 2 paused. The house is solely in your name? Me? Yes. I bought it before we got married. She's not on the title. Officer 2 went back inside. I could hear muffled conversation. Then my wife's voice getting louder, angry. 5 minutes later, both officers came back out. Officer 1 uncuffed me. Sir, we apologize. We've verified ownership records. The property is registered solely to you. Officer 2 to my wife, who was now standing in the doorway looking furious. Ma'am, this isn't your property legally. You can't compel him to leave his own home. If you want him removed, you'll need a court order. Her, that's not fair. I live here. I've been living here for 3 years. That may be, but residency doesn't equal ownership, and you can't call us to remove the legal owner from their own property. So what am I supposed to do? You can stay, you can leave, or you can pursue this through family court, but we're not removing him. He hasn't broken any laws. Her, this is bullshit. He's the one who. Officer 1, ma'am, I strongly suggest you calm down. Making false reports is a crime. You told dispatch there was an intruder. There isn't. That shut her up. The officers left. She stormed inside, started packing a bag, wouldn't talk to me. Just packed and called someone. Her sister probably. Her sister showed up 20 minutes later. They both glared at me. Her sister called me a few choice words. I didn't respond. Before leaving, my wife threw her house key at my feet. Keep your precious house. Then they left. That was 6 hours ago. I locked all the doors, changed the security code, then I left too. Didn't want to be there if she came back with more drama. So now I'm in a hotel, trying to process that my wife called the cops on me in my own house. That I got handcuffed on my own property. That she legitimately thought she could have me removed from a house I own. The entitlement is insane. Tomorrow I'm calling a lawyer. Update 1. 2 days later. Well, things escalated. First, the aftermath of the police call. Got a call from my buddy who's a cop in the next county over. Word apparently spread about the incident. He called to make sure I was okay. Buddy. Dude, heard about what happened, you good? Me. Define good. Buddy. Your wife really called you in as a trespasser in your own house? Yep. That's bold and stupid. She know you can press charges for false reporting? Thinking about it. You should. Teaches consequences. Also, document everything. Get cameras if you don't have them. Took his advice. Went home yesterday, installed a Ring doorbell and 2 cameras, front and back. $400 total. Worth it. Good thing too, because last night at 11 p.m. she showed up, with her sister and her mom. Doorbell rang. Checked the camera. All 3 of them standing there. My wife was holding a key, must have had a spare I didn't know about. I didn't answer, just watched. She tried the key. Didn't work. I'd changed the locks that morning, another $150. She tried it again, nothing. Then she started pounding on the door. Wife, open the door. I know you're in there. I stayed quiet, watching through the camera app on my phone. Her sister, he probably changed the locks. Typical. Wife, he can't do that. I live here. Her mom, just break a window. You have every right to be in there. I immediately called 911. Told them my estranged wife was at my property threatening to break in. While waiting, I watched them try the back door. It was locked too. My wife was crying now. Her mom was on the phone with someone, probably trying to get legal advice at 11 p.m. Cops showed up in 8 minutes. Different officers this time. Who called about a break-in attempt? Me, opening the door. I did. That's my wife. We're separated. She tried to use a key that no longer works, and her mother suggested breaking a window. Officer to my wife. Ma'am, is this your residence? Yes, I mean we're married, I've been living here. But is your name on the deed or lease? No, but then you can't enter without the owner's permission. Sir, do you give permission for them to enter? No. Officer to my wife. You need to leave. If you attempt to enter this property without permission, that's breaking and entering. Her mom. This is ridiculous. She's his wife. She has rights. Officer. She has spousal rights that can be addressed in court, but she doesn't have the right to force entry into property she doesn't own. They left. But not before her mom took photos of the house and me. Not sure what that was about. This morning I got a call from a lawyer. Not my lawyer. Hers apparently. Lawyer, I represent your wife. She's requesting access to the marital home to retrieve her belongings. She can have her stuff. She needs to arrange a time when I'm not there. She's entitled to reside in the marital home during divorce proceedings. The house isn't marital property. I owned it before marriage. We'll see what the court says about that. In the meantime, my client needs her things. Fine. Tell her Saturday at 2 p.m. She gets 2 hours. I won't be there. That's not acceptable. She needs full access. 2 hours or nothing. She can bring help to move things faster. He hung up on me. Called back 5 minutes later and agreed to Saturday. But here's where it gets interesting. My buddy the cop called again. Said there was a report filed claiming I was withholding my wife's property. That I was financially controlling her. That I'd forced her out of the house. Just giving you a heads up, they're building a narrative. You need that lawyer ASAP. Called one this morning. Meeting tomorrow. She sounded competent and pissed off on my behalf, which I took as a good sign. Meanwhile, my wife's been texting from her sister's phone since I blocked her number. You can't keep me from my home. I'm getting a lawyer and you'll be sorry. The court will make you sell the house and give me half. Everyone knows what you're really like. That last one worries me. She's clearly telling people some version of events that paints me as the bad guy. My phone's been blowing up, her friends, some mutual friends, even my mother-in-law called me directly. Mother-in-law, how dare you throw my daughter out on the street? Me, I didn't throw her out. She left after calling the police on me. Mother-in-law, because you were threatening her. I never threatened anyone. The police confirmed that. You're trying to steal everything from her. That house is half hers. It's not. I bought it before we were married. Mother-in-law, doesn't matter. You're married. Everything is shared. That's not how property law works. We'll see what the judge says, and good luck getting anyone to believe you're the victim here. She hung up. She's right about one thing. The narrative is already being spun. I'm the bad guy who threw out his wife and stole the house. Never mind that she called the cops on me first. Never mind that it's my house. Never mind reality. Saturday's pickup is going to be fun. I'm planning to be far away from the house. Maybe get lunch somewhere. Let her take her stuff and go. Lawyer tomorrow. Documentation ready. Let's see how this plays out. Update 2. 1 week later. Saturday's pickup was a disaster. Not for me, I wasn't there, but apparently for everyone else involved. Let me back up. Friday, my lawyer meeting. Her name doesn't matter, but she's sharp as hell. Looked at all my documentation, the deed, the police reports, the ring camera footage, the texts. Lawyer, okay, this is actually pretty straightforward. House is yours, premarital property. She has no claim unless she can prove she contributed to mortgage payments or improvements. Did she? Me, no mortgage. I own it outright. And no, she didn't pay for any improvements. Then she has no claim. We'll file for divorce. You keep the house. We split anything acquired during marriage, which sounds like not much. Me, furniture, mostly, some savings, but we kept separate accounts. I make more, so I saved more. Even better, this should be quick. The only complication is her trying to claim you're controlling or abusive. These ring videos help disprove that. Can she really claim abuse when she's the one who called the cops on me falsely? Lawyer, she can claim anything. Doesn't mean it'll hold up, but we need to be prepared for her to play victim. It's common. She filed the divorce papers that day, served my wife Saturday morning at her sister's place, right before the scheduled pickup time, which probably wasn't great timing in hindsight. I left my house at 1:30 p.m., went to a diner across town, turned on the ring camera notifications. At 2 p.m., activity. My wife showed up with her sister. Her mom, her dad, 2 friends I didn't recognize, and a moving truck. They started loading stuff. Her clothes, her books, some furniture from the bedroom. Fine. Whatever, I watched on my phone. Then at 2:45 p.m., things got weird. Her dad started looking around, opening drawers, going through my office. Her mom was in the garage. I called my neighbor, an older guy who's always home. Hey, can you see if everything's okay at my place? My wife's there picking up her stuff, but something seems off. Neighbor, sure, give me a second. Few minutes later, he called back. Yeah, they're definitely not just packing her things. Saw the dad take your toolbox to the truck, and the mom's loading boxes from your garage. Called my lawyer. She said call the police. I did. Dispatch, what's the situation? Me, I allowed my estranged wife access to retrieve her belongings. She's now taking items that aren't hers. Dispatch, are you on scene? Me, no, I'm watching via security camera, but I have a neighbor who can verify. Cops arrived at 3:10 p.m. By then, they'd loaded a bunch of my stuff. My TV, my PlayStation, my tools, some of my clothes, kitchen appliances, even tried to take my laptop which was sitting on my desk. The officers made them unload everything that wasn't clearly hers. There was a huge argument. Her dad got loud, almost got arrested for yelling at the cops. Wife, this is my stuff. I bought all of this. Ma'am, do you have receipts? Wife, I don't need receipts. We're married. Right now you're separated and you were given limited access. What you're doing is theft. Her mom jumped in. He's trying to keep everything. She has nothing. That's for the divorce court to decide, not for you to decide by taking things. They had to unload about half the truck. My neighbor confirmed they put everything back. But the 2 hours was up, so the police asked them to leave. Before leaving, my wife screamed at my Ring camera, "This isn't over. You're going to pay for this." Got that on video too. Sent it to my lawyer. But the drama didn't end there. Sunday morning, I got a notification from my bank. Someone tried to access our joint savings account, the only thing we have together, about $8,000 that we'd been building for emergencies. Tried to transfer all of it to an account I didn't recognize. Bank flagged it as suspicious. Called me to verify. I told them no, freeze the account. They did. My wife had tried to drain our joint savings, called my lawyer immediately. She said file an emergency motion to freeze all joint assets. We did. Hearing is tomorrow. Also found out today that my wife filed a restraining order request. Claims I'm stalking her by monitoring her movements, the Ring camera footage, and that I'm financially abusing her by stealing her belongings. The hearing for that is next week. My lawyer's response: let her try. We have video evidence of everything, and she's the one who tried to steal your property and drain your bank account. The entitlement is unreal. She calls the cops on me in my own house, then tries to steal my stuff, then tries to take all our savings, and I'm the abuser somehow? The mutual friend situation is split. Half believe her version, that I'm a controlling nightmare who kicked her out. The other half saw the police body cam footage, it's semi-public record, and know she's lying. Lost some friends over this. But honestly, if they believe her wild story without asking my side, they weren't real friends anyway. Tomorrow's hearing should be interesting. My lawyer says the judge won't be happy about the attempted theft or the bank account situation. Says it makes her look bad. We'll see. Update 3 weeks later. Everything came to a head last week. Multiple hearings, lots of drama, and finally some resolution. First, the restraining order hearing. She claimed I was harassing her via camera surveillance, threatening her through proxies, my neighbor who called the cops, and financially abusing her by denying access to marital property. My lawyer presented the original police report showing she called the cops on me, Ring footage of her trying to break into my house, Ring footage of her family stealing my belongings, bank records showing she tried to drain our joint account without permission, text messages from her threatening me. Judge looked at my wife's lawyer. Counselor, your client called the police, claiming her husband was trespassing in a home he solely owns. Then she attempted to forcibly enter his property. Then she attempted to steal his belongings. Then she tried to empty their joint account, and she wants me to restrain him. Her lawyer, Your Honor, she was acting out of desperation. She has nowhere to go. Judge, she's staying with her sister, according to her own filing. She's employed, according to her financial disclosure. She's not destitute, she's just not getting what she wants. Request denied. My wife started crying. Her mom, who was in the courtroom, yelled, "This is sexist." The bailiff had to warn her. Then came the emergency motion about the joint assets. Judge froze the account temporarily and ordered us to split it 50-50. Fair enough, $4,000 each. But then my lawyer brought up the attempted theft. Lawyer, Your Honor, the respondent attempted to remove approximately $6,000 worth of the petitioner's property during the supervised pickup. Police were called and items were returned. We have documentation. Judge to my wife, is this true? I thought those things were ours. Did you purchase them? Well, no, but we used them together. That doesn't make them yours. If you can't distinguish between shared marital property and his separate property, you shouldn't have unsupervised access. Judge ordered all future pickups be supervised by a neutral third party or law enforcement. My wife was furious. Kept insisting she had rights. That the house was partially hers because she maintained it. She didn't. I paid for all utilities, maintenance, everything. That she deserved compensation. Judge wasn't having it. Ma'am, you don't own the property. You didn't contribute financially to it. Your name isn't on the deed. You have no legal claim. We can discuss spousal support in the divorce proceedings, but the house is his. Her lawyer tried to argue about sweat equity and domestic contribution, but the judge shut it down. Said that might matter if they'd been married 20 years, not 3, and not when she was employed the whole time. The divorce hearing was last week. Standard stuff, dividing the furniture. We basically just agreed she takes what she brought in, I keep what I bought. splitting the joint savings, determining spousal support. Her lawyer pushed hard for alimony, claimed my wife had sacrificed her career for our marriage. She hadn't, that she was entitled to the lifestyle she'd become accustomed to. 3 years isn't long enough for that argument. That I had significantly more assets because I earned and saved more, which isn't grounds for alimony. Judge awarded her temporary spousal support for 18 months while she gets on her feet. $800 a month. Not thrilled about it, but my lawyer said it could have been worse. Could have been longer or more. The house is 100% mine as expected. She has no claim. The judge made that very clear. Total cost of this mess? Lawyer fees, $8,500. New locks and security cameras, $550. My portion of joint savings, $4,000. Would have had more if we'd split earlier. Spousal support for 18 months, $4,400. Stress and wasted time, priceless. Could have been worse. Could have lost the house or half its value. Could have had years of alimony. Could have had criminal charges if I'd reacted differently that first night. My wife is living with her sister now. Heard through mutual friends she's complaining constantly that the legal system is rigged against women, despite the system initially believing her story. That I got away with financial abuse by not giving her my house. That she's the victim in all this. Her friends believe her. My friends know the truth. The people in the middle figured it out eventually. The really wild part? Her mother tried to call me last week, wanted to talk this out and see if we could work things out for the sake of the family. Mother-in-law, this has gone too far. Can't you just forgive her? She called the cops on me in my own house, claiming I was a criminal, then tried to steal my property, then tried to drain our savings. What exactly am I forgiving? She made mistakes. We all make mistakes. Those aren't mistakes. Those are calculated decisions. Well, she's my daughter and she's suffering. She's suffering consequences of her own actions. That's different. You're heartless. I'm done being manipulated. Have a good day. Hung up. Blocked the number. Some people are calling me cold, saying I should have been more understanding. That marriage is about compromise and forgiveness. But here's the thing. You don't compromise with someone who calls the cops on you falsely. You don't forgive someone who tries to steal from you. You don't work things out with someone who shows that level of entitlement and disrespect. The divorce will be finalized in about 2 months. Can't come soon enough. Meanwhile, I'm back in my house, alone, peaceful. No drama, no police, no accusations. My neighbor comes by sometimes to check on me. We have coffee, talk about normal stuff. He says he's glad I stood my ground, that his ex-wife pulled similar stunts and he wishes he'd had cameras and documentation like I did. Work's been good. Told my boss the basics of the situation in case my wife tried to cause problems there. She didn't, thankfully. He was supportive. Said take time if I need it. Friend group is smaller but stronger. The ones who stuck around are real. The ones who believed her story without question weren't worth keeping anyway. Dating? No interest. Not for a while. Need to process this, heal, figure out what red flags I missed, because I missed them. She was always a bit entitled. Always a bit what's yours is ours, what's mine is mine. I just thought that was normal relationship stuff. Turns out it was a warning sign. Lesson learned. Protect your assets. Document everything. And when someone shows you who they really are, believe them. The house is still mine. My peace of mind is still mine. My future is still mine. She can have her victim narrative. I have the truth and the legal documents to back it up.